Hey, I have a question for you. Is it trauma? Are you triggered by trauma because of trauma? Or is it your hormones that's interfering with your relationship? Let's talk about it. So, let me start by saying who I am. Let me introduce myself. This is my very first YouTube video, so please be kind. So, I'm Asia. I am a trauma focused somatic based therapist and a relational hormone coach. And I work with adults who have had adverse relationship experiences or who have had relational trauma, either from childhood or from relationships in their adulthood, and it's still operating in the background. And so I'm all about healing from relational wounds and building and repairing relationships. That's my jam. That's what I like to talk about, and that's what we do here on this channel. Is we talk about how to heal and how to repair from relational trauma. So, what I want to talk about today is how trauma intertwine with hormones, because sometimes they look similar. So if you are one who if you feel like you're not enough in your relationships, if you feel like you have abandonment issues or trust issues, or you feel like you don't belong, you feel like you're not worthy of love, if you feel like you're never gonna get what you want, people always disappoint you, people never come through for you, what you're wanting from a relationship is not available to you, and along with that mindset, the way you show up in your relationship, either you are very anxious and you worry a lot about whether or not your partner is going to be there, you worry about your partner's fidelity, you worry about whether or not you are enough for your partner, and it kind of gets in the way of the relationship and of building, then we need to talk. That could be trauma. If you are hyper independent and you don't trust your partner and you find that you're pushing them away, that could be from trauma. If you find that relationships bring anxiety for you, if you find there's certain moments, maybe there's a trigger within the relationship, something was said, something was done, and it triggers old feelings, or reminds you of old feelings or old stories, that could be trauma. If you have nightmares or anxiety because you're dreaming about past experiences, and it still sort of haunts you and you find yourself ruminating about them, we could be talking about trauma. Now, hormonal stuff can look similar. If you find that you have been experiencing insomnia, appetite issues, whether you have no appetite, you've got more appetite, you find that you're anxious, you have anxiety, you have depression or low mood or mood swings, you have cognitive sort of dysfunctions where you can't concentrate, you can't function, your language processing has gotten slower. We could be talking about hormones. And sometimes when you're in relationships, so let me back up. With hormones, how you will know is that there tends to be a cycle with hormones. So for example, with PMDD, you may notice that a week or two before your period starts, you start to feel like you're slipping, like you're not feeling quite like yourself, you're kind of losing control, you're kind of losing touch with just your emotional stability, you're just feeling unstable, and those symptoms that I mentioned are kicking in, those mood swings, insomnia, appetite issues, cognitive issues, any of those things, and then it seems to kind of last for a few weeks or so, and so by the time your period is ending, maybe you're coming out of it a little bit and you're starting to feel a little bit more like yourself, and you might have one good week and then it cycles through again. Now we're talking about hormones, and what that kind of looks like in your relationship sometimes is, one, the mood swings and all of that, but um, when our hormones are dysregulated, we sometimes have these moments of ruminating where we feel insecure, we feel unsafe, and we worry more. And we tend to worry more about the things that's right in front of us, and usually it's our relationships. And so I've seen clients who's come in, they were thinking that they were dealing with trauma from past experiences, and it was showing up in their relationship. And every month they would come in and they wanted to sabotage their relationship. And I would say, hold on, wait a minute. I've coached you through dating. You really like this person. They check a lot of your boxes. They've been pretty consistent over time. There's not really any, let's unpack this. What is there any specific things that's happened, that they've done, that they've said, that's triggered this for you? And usually the answer has been no. In these situations that I'm talking about, the answer has been no. And then when I started to see every month, after I think maybe the third month, they're coming in and they're having these issues where they're wanting to leave the relationship. They're not feeling secure. They're having doubts. They're having doubts about their worthiness. They're having doubts about whether or not their partner is gonna be there. So they're having these abandonment issues coming up. Then I started to look at it and I said, is there a pattern to this? When does this happen? And what we noticed is there is indeed a pattern. These feelings, these worries, these concerns, these abandonment issues comes up when it's around their cycle time, around their period time. And so once we kind of got that data, then we were like, okay, let's go get this checked out. Go to the doctor. Let's see what's going on with your hormones. And in this case in particular, what we found out is we'd been going through this for about 3 months, where every month she would come in and was wanting to sabotage her relationship. And after recognizing that this was a pattern, and I said, okay, let's unpack this, let's see what's going on. What we discovered is that she had gone off her birth control a few months before, leading up to this sort of renewed sort of worry and anxiety around the relationship. And so what was going on? It was her hormones. So she went to the doctor, they worked out a plan, and we continued to, do some lifestyle things. We talked about nutrition. We talked about, sort of fortifying her and nourishing her hormones through nutrition, through adaptogens. And voila, my girl is married now, has been married for over a year now, expecting a baby. So hormones and trauma can sometimes feel familiar, and it can sometimes look similar, but there is a difference, and there is a pattern. So I just want everyone to be aware of that in case you're not. I just want to put that on your radar, because you can heal from trauma, and you can heal from from hormonal issues. You can tighten that up. You can strengthen that. You can nourish your hormones. You can regulate them. None of this is overnight. It does take time. It does take care. It does take a little discipline, but it can be done. But I wanted to put that on people's radar, to know that they do sometimes look similar. And I know sometimes people aren't aware of hormones, and I have clients who, even though they know that, because it's on my radar. It's been on my radar for a few years now, so I know to look for these things. And so I have clients who will say, I just haven't been feeling myself this week. And the first thing I say, okay, is where are you in your cycle? And because even they forget sometimes. They forget, like, oh yeah, you're right. I am starting my period, or I am, in a couple, this week period's gonna be coming on this week or whatever. So even sometimes they forget that their hormones do cause these really disruptions, like cause these disruptions and just major discomforts in their lives, and it impacts their relationships. And so I want people to have healthy relationships, and I want people to be healthy. I want people to feel whole, and I don't want people to suffer from their past, from experiences that they had. It's going to operate in the background, but we can reprogram that. We can change the channel on that. And so that's my mission. And the hormonal thing, because of my past, because I have a history with having hormonal issues, it's like a personal vendetta. This is my mission. So I wanted to get that out there. And I'm gonna say, please keep tuning in, because we're gonna talk about relational healing and relational repair. We're gonna talk about ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, and how that might impact your health today and how it impacts your relationships. We're going to talk about dating and marriage and relationships and all that good stuff. And so please leave comments, just letting me know what kind of things you might be working through from your adverse childhood experiences, or from your your adverse relationship experiences, or your trauma, and we can talk about it. Let's talk about it. So leave comments, just giving me feedback, letting me know what kind of things you want to talk about on this channel, or what you want to hear about, and I'd be happy to delve into some of those things. And also, I want to invite you, if you are on a healing journey from relational trauma, and by relational trauma I mean abuse of any type: emotional, psychological, sexual, physical, whether it happened in childhood or if it happened in a relationship as an adult. If you're still healing from that, or you're just wanting more support, I have an online community through school, SKOOL, and my community is called Second Spring House of Lotus. It's sort of a spin-off of my my private practice. My private practice is called Second Spring CCC, and my online community is filled with a bunch of really wonderful, warm, supportive women who are having similar experiences, or who have had similar experiences, and are just supporting each other through the healing. And in that community, I provide one-on-one coaching. I do group coaching. I provide prompts and challenges that are geared towards healing and healing yourself, unpacking old trauma, old stories, getting to the root of what's going on with you that's causing your discomfort and your maladaptive behaviors and actions. And I'm in there providing support. And so please join. I will have a link below if you're interested in just going in and poking around and seeing what's there. But don't suffer in silence, and don't go through it by yourself if you don't have to. You have a team, you have a support system. So I just want to let you know that. And until next time, I'll see you again.